web-based app, okay, which means that you don't have to download an app. I know that some clubs are not overly happy with kids using their own devices in the club situation. So the beauty of it being an app-based, a web-based app, is that if you've got iPads or you've got a laptop or something that you use in the gym, you can open numerous tabs, and each gymnast can log into their particular app, and you can just toggle between the tabs. So that means that you've got the clubs that are not happy with devices are able to access it, and the clubs that are happy to access it use devices. The kids can do it, the gymnasts can do it from their phones as well. So that's good. So once you're in, you've got 9 tiles here. You okay? You can hear okay, yeah. And then at the bottom, you've got the home button, diary, insights, and profile. Now with the profile, really all this does is it just collects information about your gender, and that is the only data apart from the email address when you sign up that we collect. You create an alias. So from a GDPR point of view, we've had all of this, we've got all of our policies in place as well, so you can be secure in the knowledge that everything's kind of compliant with GDPR. And like I said, the email address is the only piece of data that we collect that's personal to the gymnast. Anything else can be anonymized. I'll start with the bottom right. We'll click on the resources section, and there's a whole load of things in here that you can access, whether it's difficulty, whether it's the current league handbook. Obviously, we're at the end of the league season now, so that will change. We've got things in there like DMT difficulty sheets, and you'll see there, you just click on it and it opens up. So you're able to access resources quite easily from within the app. We will continue to add things. This is always a really good one where we can take feedback from people and say, you know what, I'd love to have in the resources section, give me a PDF on all the DD. You know, we can do that. However, you don't need it because the app actually calculates all the DD that you need anyway for everything that you input. I'll let Ollie take you through the insights section, but I'll take you into the skills bit here. This is one of my favorite sections, and it's become even more of a favorite section since Ollie's really spruced it up with the colors and that as well. We've got new skills and we've got play skills at the top. I'll start with the play skills because this is to the best of our knowledge and experience, we've essentially created every kind of play skill that you can think of that will help lead up to some of the more challenging skills later on, some of the multiple twisting, double somersaults, triple somersaults, and the ability to kind of navigate that when you're in the air is dependent upon being able to do all these kind of play skills. And there's loads of them. Look, there's just keeps going. Now, this is quite nice because if you've got a section within your training where they get to play a little bit, they're actually working towards developing skills without even realizing it. You'll notice the colors. We've got green, amber, and red. I'll pick a red one. So it's here. We've got 1.5 twist to front landing. I'm going to click on it. And if you can see that, we've got, it's red. So it means we're still getting a feel for it. We can add however many attempts that we're making. The coach can tell us that we're either learning it, still figuring it out, we're progressing, getting more consistent, or we've mastered it. If the coach has said we're getting more consistent, we click on that and we click save. And you can see now it's turned to amber. The aim, obviously, is to get all of our play skills green. So the progress is really clear to see in that we're moving from red to amber and amber to green. So you go back on that. The next time you have a go at 1.5 twist to front, we've done a few more attempts. Your coach has said, right, you've got it. You've mastered it. Well done. Click on that and it turns it green. All right. Lovely, lovely little thing there. And it's just nice when you've got a little bit less structure in the session and you can do that bit at the end that's just like, oh, the kids are like, oh, can we do the play skills now? In terms of the new skills, it is slightly different because with this is quite a good record of how many repetitions that we've done and in which environment that we've done it in. So again, I'll pick something that we've got. Look at this. Oh no, do you know what we can do? We can pick one. There's a little tab just here with a plus sign. You can search the skills in here. So let's say I want to do Rudy out, tucked. So we're going to add the skill in, okay? And here it's in red at the minute. Okay, now if you've got a twisting rig and you want to do Rudy outs in the twisting rig, or you want to go into the pit, you can obviously start to record how many you do, and you can see that we're already starting to change the color in that we're now building some of the fundamentals because we've done some repetitions either in the rig or to the pit. It might be that after a period of time that you're coming out of the pit and out of the rig, you're now being caught. And you can see that the more that you do, the more that we're making progress and our color is changing. The beauty about this is that if like me, you've got this nominal kind of figure in your head of, I want you to do 50 in the rig before you come out of the rig, then here you've got a way of tracking it. And the kids track it, and you can say to them, right, let's have a look at your app. Let's just see how many you've done. Okay, cool. You've done plenty. You know, I think that you're safe as well. Let's take it out of the rig and go into the pit, or let's catch it. We've got into mat, we've got to bed, we've got in combination, and then we've got competed as well. You can see now that the color doesn't change because essentially we've mastered that skill, and that will just drop into here at the top there, Rudy out tucked. Okay, so you can see then it's tagged that as advanced in terms of your progress, and you've got here already some little stats here, how many to bed, how many in a routine, how many competed. So again, it's a really nice little section, that one. In terms of creating your routines and drills, you can build these yourself. In the routine section, you can choose trampoline or DMT because the app is set up at the moment for both. It's not set up for tumbling, but the infrastructure is there when Ollie and I are ready to start populating that. So at the moment, we are just trampoline and DMT. In this one, again, we click the plus sign and up comes, obviously, spaces 10 skills. I can put in here now a new one. Let's just call it Charlie's set. Okay, and then you can then start picking the skills that you need. You can either start to type and it will find it, or you can scroll down as I am. Okay, and you can just put full in half out tuck seat landing. There we go. You can see as well that the app itself realizes and knows that if you put a seat landing in, there can only be a couple of other options. So it minimizes then the choices that you've got left. Okay, so we'll do full in half out tucked, swivel hips, half twist to feet. Okay, and then we'll go and we'll have a look at Rudy out pite. So you can see here, we'll just add these in just for the sake of building a routine, and we'll finish straight Barani at the end. Okay, so then we add that routine, and that will be important because when we go into creating a session, you can then choose Charlie's set as something to train and work on. Okay, DMT again, it is just the same, but you've only got two options in terms of creating your pass. Okay, so you can create your routines and passes that way. Drills in exactly the same way. You can create your drills if you want to. And what you can choose here is how many skills and how many repetitions. So, you know, a common one that we do is let's do straight back, straight Barani 5 times. So we're doing 10 skills, but we're repeating straight back, straight Barani 5 times. So you can see I've put 2 skills, 5 repetitions, and then back somersault, straight, Barani straight, and I can, I need to name it. We go straight back, straight Barani, drill. Okay, save that. That populates it in your drills. And then once you've created them, that they're there. You can see I've done one here. This is a bit of a crazy one. The backward takeoff drills. I don't know if anybody else has joined since, but I know I was talking to Helen from Edgeborough the other day. And I know that Sue Lawton has a whole range of crazy drills, including like a back takeoff drill. So I thought I'd create one for them. Are they here? I don't know. Who are we? No, they're not. Where am I? I'm going back to the app. So this one is back landing to feet, 3/4 back Cody, tuck back, pipe back, straight back as a little back takeoff drill. So you create the drills as big or as small as you want them to do. What else have I got in there? I've got half out tuck drill. So that one is half out tuck straight back 3 times. So that's a total of 6 skills. So you basically build whatever you want as a drill. Let me just see. Can we just mute that one if that's okay? Oh, that's coming from this one. I can't mute.
I've muted.
That's not. Have you been able to do that, Ollie?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, then we've got a goal setting section. And obviously here we've got in progress and completed. You can set a new goal. And it might be that I want to compete Rudy Mount on DMT. Okay. So we can give them a bit more of a detailed description. I want to compete Rudy Mount on DMT in my first comp in Feb. A goal type, and then the start date is today. Our target date is going to be February. And in actual fact, the dates have just come out for our Scottish comps. So it's actually the 31st of January and the 1st of February is our first competition. And then you can pop a review date in there as well. So you can say, do you know what? Let's review this at the end of November. You can save that goal. Okay. So that now is grey at the moment. If you've added any reviews in there, you can go in and you can change the rag rating from red, amber to green. If we click in amber because we're making progress towards it, it's okay, but we're not quite being able to dismount from it, then we can switch it to amber. Okay. And then hopefully when we go back into here, you can now see that, no, where is it? Rudy Mount on DMT.
So you got to hit save.
Did I not hit save? Oh, there it is. Sorry, up in the top right-hand corner. Okay. And then that will change that color there to Rudy Mount. Once you've completed a goal, it falls into the completed section. So this one here we've got is, I think it was a half out mount on DMT. Okay. Oh, no, half out tucked in my vole by February qualifier. Okay. So you can see that your goals fall into the completed section. So it's a nice place to set the goals together, keep them in one place, and then review them and pop them into the completed section. It goes in automatically when you rag it green. Results section here, we've obviously we're able to input results from a competition. So you've got the event name, the date, whether it was a set or a vol. You've got all elements of the score that you can put in there: execution, difficulty, HD, time of flight, any penalties, number of skills completed, and any comments that you want to put in there as well. Now, Ollie's already in conversations with people to potentially be able to import results from the result systems that are out there already. So that could be a development that will come. I mean, I think, Ollie, you said you're pretty certain that that's something that we could do. But that would be really good because you have to manually enter the results. But actually, do you know what? It's quite a nice process to do, because if you're manually entering the results, it's part of the conversation and part of a review process, particularly at this time of year when you've just had league finals, you've just had national age groups, British championships. We've had Scottish championships as well. So it's a good time to actually input the scores and do something with them. Do that for DMT as well. Do that for synchro. Okay, so you've got the three kind of rebound disciplines, or the trampoline, DMT, and synchro. Tumbling, again, is not yet ready, so we won't worry too much about that. That then takes us onto the diary. The good thing about this is you can see every session that we've completed in this particular app is there, and it's there forever. And when we hit plus, we create a session, it takes us to this. And this has come, the idea straight from the diary. So Charlie and Rachel, you'll know from your diaries that at the top of the session notes pages, you've got the mood tracker, whether you're feeling neutral, good, you're feeling pretty bad or very bad, or very good. So you pick the one that you want. The good thing about this is that if you're saying that I'm feeling pretty bad today and my fatigue levels are quite high, you record your mood and then it comes up with a little prompt. And it says there, before you start training, it's important to speak to your coach to make a plan to manage your mood before you start. Now, at this point, right, the session shouldn't start until the gymnast and coach have had that conversation. The coach says, do you know what? I've assessed your state of mind at the moment, and I can see that we've got a plan to make sure that you're safe throughout this session. It might be that you do a little less training today, or you take a few breaks, or what. So we're good to go. All right, so we've now got the session details. In there, you can choose what it is that you're doing. It might be that let's do trampoline, because we had Charlie's set, didn't we? Today's the session date. This is the time we're training now. And you can type in aims if you want to type in aims today. Okay, so I'm going to complete 3 of my new sets. Execution is not focus, as I want to get used to the new composition of the routine. Begin training. Okay, so your now session is blank. You can start adding things in. So in here, I can pick a routine, and you can see in there we've got Charlie's set that we preloaded just before. In here, you've then got the ability to be able to record a single attempt or multiple attempts. So it might be that he does 2 routines on his go, or it might be that he doesn't record anything, and after every attempt, you might do 3 or 4 attempts, and then he can just record it in one go. You can record if it was a complete routine or part complete routine. And then you can see in there that here is Charlie's set, and you can actually change this if we got to the point where, let's say, the Brani at the end wasn't quite straight. Okay, it was, oh no, get off. What was that?
F12.
What did I just hit?
F12. Function F12 maybe.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Click the X on that tab, it will bring you back.
That's it. So I can click down on that Barani, and I can change that to Barani tucked. Yeah, it didn't manage it piked straight, it was tucked. If you want to and you're measuring it, you can put your time of flight in there, either from a time of flight machine or from a stopwatch, so you can choose. If you were recording HD, you can put that in. If you're recording execution, you can put that in as well. Now, this is the bit that then makes the app really, really valuable to you, because every time you give a piece of feedback, what's important is that the gymnasts do something with the feedback. And you'll know time and time again, you find yourself saying the same things, whether it's DMT or trampoline. They go back to the other end of the DMT, they come down and they make a similar mistake. By going and actively either writing it into a paper diary or typing it into an app, they're then taking ownership of remembering the feedback and putting it and recording it soon after the attempt as possible. So it might be, for example, that we needed to, and I always say this to my gymnasts, right? Shape jumps are straight jumps, right? With the shape at the top. So it might be that that was the feedback. Okay, shape jumps are straight jumps with the shape at the top. Okay, then there's a bit of self-reflection. Enjoyed my new routine. I'm sure it will get easier. I just need to keep focus on the end of the bed, for example. Save the entry, and you can see then that that has now saved in this session. Now that was for one routine. You can record multiples, and it might actually be that the similar feedback was given for multiples, so that actually makes sense. You can also add in there a drill, and you can put in there, let's do the straight back, straight Barani drill. And again, you've got exactly the same opportunities in there as well. Okay. I'm not going to add that in though. You can add your hydration, which is good. That's something that we have in the paper diary as well. And you can finish your training session. When you finish the training session, you re-record your mood. Okay, and it might be that we're now feeling good. Our fatigue level is pretty moderate. That's okay, and we can finish the session. Okay, and then what you actually get here is that you get a little bit of more information when you click that to see what you did. If you did more in the session, then you'd be able to see more. And I think Ollie will show you that when he explains the insights. I think I've covered everything in there in terms of just navigating the app. Oh, conditioning, sorry. So here we've got the ability to create conditioning routines. We can also create circuits and tests as well. All right, and in doing so, you'll see through the tests that you can actually record that and have that show in your insights at a later date as well. But if you're creating a circuit, you write your circuit. I've called it, let's call this core 2. And then what comes up? Oh no, I've just renamed the previous one. So here you can see that I've created one previously, and in there it's 20 V sits, 60-second plank, 30 tuck sits, and 15 walk out hands, press up and walk back in again. You can delete that if you want to, or you can add a new circuit. Let's call this core 3, and then you can start adding your exercises. So we've got some preloaded ones in there. Again, the good thing about being able to take feedback and make additions, if there's any exercises that we think, actually, I do this a lot and I swear by this exercise, can we get it added in? Then that's fine. What we can't do so much is let people add their own, mainly just because of things like we want the app to still look really nice and neat and tidy. So we want to make sure the capital letters are in the right place, that the spellings are correct and all that as well. So we'd rather add things that are suggested than people be able to create their own. So that is the navigation of the app. I'm going to just let Ollie take control so that he can show you a bit more about analyzing the data. I'll stop sharing. Right.
Let me know when that's up. Have you got it yet? So
yep.
Cool.
So I think you've got the option there as well with that little floating button to enter full screen. So I'll click that on mine so I can see it in bigger version.
All right. So yeah, this is a little demo account I made for my sister. So some of the data is accurate, like her results, and some of it's sort of made up. So some of the insights will be actual useful stuff. Some of it will be a bit, it could be slightly random, but hopefully it'll make sense. So I'll just go back into sort of diary section we're in. And what Toby was just alluding to at the end there is when you've got more stuff for in the session, from this session view, you can expand any of your completed sessions. And in there, you'll get a few metrics. So in terms of load and stuff, we've got the total exercises you did, total skills, total difficulty. If you've been recording time of flight or stopwatch times, you'll get icons for your average time of flight per skill throughout the session. And then where Toby showed you guys, you can record sort of part complete routines, drills, etc. That populates these two sort of bars. We've got exercise completion rate and skills completion rate. So the exercise completion rate is as simple as, say you've just done 2 routines, you finished one of them and you got to skill 5 on the second one and then stopped. That would give you an exercise completion of 50%. So you've got through 50% of the routines successfully. However, you know, that's not a completely fair representation of how far through the 2 routines you've got. So the skills completion rate factors in those 5 skills that you got through as well. So it would actually have given you, in my example, 75% completion the skills, and that can be useful. You know, if you're deciding between 2 potential routines for a competition and they've both got a similar completion rate for the full routine, if one of them's getting to skill 9 more often and the other one's only getting to skill 6 or something, it might just be, you know, coming down to small strategies like that. And then you've also got the session breakdown, where you've spent your time between the blue is routines, grey here is drills. So in that session, that was all we did. We've got blue, darker blue for individual skills, and then the other categories for stuff like you can enter custom stuff on the fly. Now, as well as that, I've got an active session here that we've not finished yet, and it might be that you've, you know, after been using the app for a while, you know that certain gymnasts, particularly fatigued, or their maximum load comes in after they've done, you know, 50 total DD throughout the session, or 60 skills is about where they taper off. If you hit the search sort of magnifying glass at the top here, during a live session, it will give you that same data, but in real time. So, you know, you can see at any point in the session, we've done 17 skills already. We usually cap it at about 50, so we've still got 60% of the session available to us. Or if, you know, we're struggling to get through routines, we're getting close to the limit, we might say move on, do the other routine, or, you know, let's do some skills. And then, yeah, you can also see the completion rates down there as well. I'll just quickly, whilst I'm in it, show you the other bits in the entries you can do. The routines and the drills and the single skills, I think Toby showed us. Then just a couple of other ones is so that you don't have to, you know, it's quite common, say, drill wise, to want to work, say, the last 4 of your vol or something like that. So rather than having to create separate drills for that, we can just do a routine section. Choose a routine and say we want to do, you know, skills 7 to 10, and record those. Or if you want to be doing something completely random, maybe building new links for new routines, but you've not got anything on paper yet, you can do a custom one just so that's how many skills you're doing, what those are. And then the learning new skills also is like a 2-way feedback thing with the skills page that Toby showed us earlier. So you select what skill you're working on and what phase, and that will add reps also to that other section. So we come out of this view and I'll show you now the actual dedicated insights tab. So here we've got a lot more data. We'll probably make a simplified view for this as well, because it can be perhaps overwhelming. You've got your total sessions counter from all time. You've got your weekly average and monthly average time of flights, as well as the change since the previous week and the previous month. So you can see we're up 3% on time of flight this week compared to last week, so that's great. We've got some stuff for tracking weekly load, so the total hours, skills, difficulty from the session, as well as some stuff that I've pulled kind of from the level 3 theory modules. Got the concepts of density and intensity. So density, these 4 being a bit more complex, we've got info icons for them. So skill density, average number of skills per turn. Difficulty is the average difficulty per turn. Intensities per hour, so average difficulty that you get through per hour. On them by themselves in a single view, not necessarily that useful, but if you know that, you know, 2 months out from a competition, it's at a certain metric, you might want to use these to start tapering off, maybe increasing the density, so more skills per turn, but reducing the overall intensity and your overall skills. So that's all just a dashboard. I've got a few other of those for the DMT section and eventually the tumbling as well. We then break off into 5 categories for more specific stuff at the moment. So the routines and drills are pretty similar. Select a routine. I'll be able to see again the average time of flight, completion rates for that skill. This again will play in. You might say to gymnast, you can complete your new routine when you get the completion rate over 80% or something like that, or tracking the total completed attempts and stuff. Break it down to individual factors. Time of flight. Obviously, if you don't record, it'll just show up as 0. But it'll be a case of you'll be able to get out as much as you put into the app, or equally pick and choose whichever bits you actually want to focus on. At the bottom, then you've also got the breakdown of each of the attempts within the period, so you can see the individual components that were recorded. So the drills are very similar, so I won't show you that in too much detail, but essentially the same thing, just for the drills, and you'll again get to see breakdown of the data. Results is obviously pulling from that results page that we saw earlier. You can toggle at the top between all routines, sets and bowls. So if we just put this onto sets and set the time period to all time, total score. So these are my sister's actual results, and over the last year we have been trying to work on her time of flight. And as you can see, that's gone quite well for us. Definitely trended in the right direction. And an interesting thing which you can note quite clearly here, this is for the sets. If we change it to vol, we can see the same trajectory with just about a 1/4 to a 1/2 second difference. That's an interesting one because she often does a repeat set or a very similar difficulty vol. And that's indicated to us that it's probably more of a mental factor that's making her jump lower going into the second routine, knowing that she's already halfway through the comp, 1 foot on the podium already, as it were, sort of holding back. So that's an insight that we'd sort of picked to work on in the future. And also, having shown her the trajectory of the time of flight, she's now even more motivated to keep pushing the height and working towards getting up to 13 seconds. And then we've got sessions, which is kind of similar to the dashboard page, but if we break it down to weekly and stuff like total difficulty, this is where, leading up to a comp, you'll be able to look at this graph and start building in that taper of doing less skills or less difficulty throughout your sessions. Perhaps leading into more full routines but less reps of them. We've also got individual session data, just like the other pages. We've just been playing around with some other various graphs to see if there's any good data to be seen there. So we've tried out difficulty versus completion rate to see if there's sort of any trends going on. With the data I put in, there isn't, but some of that was obviously botched just to get some demo data in. The final category, this one is the newest one. I built this on the weekend in between doing stuff at British. So we've got here, once you've built conditioning tests in the conditioning section, and you've got some of those recorded, you can start to see if you do norms testing, say monthly or something, you'll be able to start seeing some trends in hopefully seeing strength go up. So you can select each of the exercises you put in that test. So you'd say plank, hold till failure. Through these 5, you can see a nice upwards trend. see the change since your last test, current result, best result, previous result. And then you can break down at the bottom for all of the exercises in there to see current stats and the previous ones, any change. Gives you an overall percentage change versus the last test, improvement or declined. So yeah, again, this one potentially a good one for motivation if gymnasts don't enjoy their conditioning, but if they at least see they're going in the right direction, that can definitely help push them to keep going. I think that's it for the insights, Toby, for now.
Thank you.
Leave it there for now.
Brilliant. Thank you.